my wife told me. If you're insecure, just leave. So I walked out and uncovered a 3-month affair that blew our marriage apart. Reddit stories. What started as public flirting at a barbecue spiraled into hotel receipts, secret messages, and a wife who thought I'd never actually leave. Serving her divorce papers at work was only the beginning of the fallout she never expected. Hi, I'm Liam, 35, and the night my wife flirted with a coworker in front of me was the night I realized just how quietly a marriage can die. It didn't happen in some explosive, TV drama way. No screaming, no plates thrown, no, "Get out of my house." It happened with one sentence. If you're insecure, just leave. Let me rewind. Fiona and I had been married almost a decade, long enough to know each other's coffee habits, laundry preferences, and the exact tone we used when lying. She was brilliant, sociable, ambitious in that shiny, effortless way that turns heads. I was stable, grounded, the guy you build a life with. And for years that worked. Until Ronan. He was new blood at her office, charismatic, gym-built, charming in a sells software but thinks he's in a movie kind of way. She talked about him constantly. Harmless at first. Then, not. So when her department head invited us to their backyard barbecue, I figured it was normal office bonding. Casual afternoon. Cheap drinks. Overcooked burgers. Instead, I got front row seats to the Fiona and Ronan showcase. The second we walked in, she practically beelined to him. Laughing too hard, leaning too close, touching his arm like it was magnetic. Meanwhile, I stood there like the decorative husband accessory she forgot she brought. I finally walked over, tried to join the conversation, and she did it, the move I'll never forget. She cut me off mid-sentence, waved a dismissive hand, and said, "Babe, you're interrupting." In front of him. In front of her coworkers. In front of everyone. I tried keeping my cool. I asked her privately if she'd tone down the touching, maybe show me a little respect. And she looked me dead in the eye and said, "If you're insecure, just leave." So I did. I walked right out the damn backyard like she'd handed me a map and a shove. And while she was busy giggling at Ronan's networking jokes, I was already forming a plan she never saw coming. The plan that would blow our marriage wide open. I got home before she even noticed I'd actually left. The house felt strangely peaceful, the kind of peace you don't realize you've been missing until it's suddenly there, sitting on your couch with its feet up. I grabbed a beer, sat down, and waited. It took her exactly 58 minutes to start calling. First call. "Seriously? Where did you go?" Second. "This isn't funny, Liam." Third. "You're embarrassing me." Then the text started. Anger, confusion, panic, guilt, tripping, more anger. The emotional roulette wheel. She finally came home around 6 p.m., stomping through the door like she'd practiced it in the car. "You made me look insane in front of my coworkers," she snapped. "You told me the door was right there," I said calmly. "So I used it." "That's not what I meant, Liam." "God, you twist everything." She spent the next hour flipping between yelling and faux therapist's voice. "You're projecting. You're reading into things. You're insecure. It was networking. This is why men don't get promoted. They don't understand office dynamics." Then she went for her favorite weapon. "A healthy marriage requires trust." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "You flirted with another man for 3 hours and introduced me as my husband like I was your emotional support appliance." She froze, just for a second, then launched into the speech. "I didn't flirt. I was being friendly. I can't help it if people find me charming." Classic Fiona. No accountability, just charm defense. She went upstairs eventually, slamming the door for dramatic effect. I didn't follow. Instead, I sat in the dark living room with my beer, and something clicked. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't confused. She wasn't misunderstood. She was testing how far she could push before I'd break. And I decided right then. I wasn't going to break. I was going to pay attention. Because people don't flirt like that suddenly. People don't hide their phone face down suddenly. People don't get defensive unless there's something to defend. Something was going on. I just didn't know what yet. But 3 weeks later, I'd learn the truth. And it would be so much worse than flirting at a barbecue. The next 2 weeks were calm. Too calm. Fiona went full Stepford wife, cooking dinner, packing my lunches, asking about my day like she hadn't tried to gaslight me into oblivion. Most guys would have thought, "Great, things are better now." I knew better. When guilty people want to hide something big, they don't start fights. They smooth everything over so you never look closely. And I started noticing small details. Detail 1, the shower routine. Fiona always used to collapse on the couch after work. Now, she'd be lying to the shower the second she walked in. Every single day. Detail 2, the phone glow. Her phone had 2 personalities. Around me, face down, silent, guarded. When she thought I wasn't paying attention, she'd tilt it toward herself, smile, type quickly, then tuck it away. Guilt has a rhythm, and she was dancing to it. Detail 3, they'll work late. Tuesdays and Thursdays became permanent. Late nights. Some campaign. Some client. Some deadline. Nothing specific. Nothing detailed. The kind of excuses you use when you hope the other person won't ask questions. I didn't ask. I didn't accuse. I just observed. Because if you accuse too early, they hide deeper. But if you stay calm, they get sloppy. The first red flag that wasn't small. One Thursday evening, she came home at 9:45 p.m. Hair slightly curled at the ends. She hates humidity, hates sweating, so no way she'd walked from the parking garage. Makeup freshened up. Perfume stronger than when she left. She walked past me with a too bright smile. Ugh, long day. Yeah? What did you work on? She blinked. Paused. Then said, "You know, the Johnson campaign." She had mentioned 6 different campaigns in the last month. I doubted any of them existed. But I just nodded. She relaxed. Too fast. Which meant she wasn't worried about me checking. Which meant someone else was giving her the confidence to lie that easily. And then, 4 days later, I got an email that blew everything open. Sender: Cassandra, Ronan's wife. Subject: You need to see this. At that moment, everything, the arm touching, the flirting, the secrecy, the defensiveness, locked into place like a puzzle snapping shut. And what was in that email? Made the barbecue look like child's play compared to what she'd actually been doing. The email from Cassandra, Ronan's wife, had 1 sentence in the body. "I think you deserve to know what's been happening behind your back." Below it were 8 attachments. My stomach sank before I even opened them. I clicked the first file. Attachment 1, a screenshot. iMessage conversation. Fiona's name at the top. Date, 3 weeks before the barbecue. Fiona: Last night was insane. I can't stop thinking about you. Ronan: Same. When can we sneak out again? Fiona: Tuesday. I'll tell him we have a late strategy session. Late strategy session. The same Tuesday she came home smelling like a different perfume. It wasn't work. It was him. Attachment 2, another screenshot. Fiona: He keeps asking why I'm so distant. I told him he's just being paranoid, lol. Ronan: Damn, he buys that? Fiona: He's too passive. I knew he'd never actually walk away. I reread the lines 3 times. He's too passive. I knew he'd never actually walk away. Funny. She had no idea I was already halfway out the door. Attachment 3, a hotel receipt. Scottsdale Hyatt. 1 night. King Suite. 2 guests. Check-in time, 6:27 p.m. Check-out time, 8:03 a.m. Date: 2 days after she told me she needed a mental health night. I packed her a lunch that morning. Attachment 4, a photo. Not explicit, but unmistakable. A mirror selfie of Ronan shirtless, bruised hickey on his collarbone. Fiona's hand, her actual hand, her beige nail polish, on his chest. The same nail polish she had on during the barbecue. Attachment 5, audio file. I clicked play. A voicemail. Ronan's voice, low and smug. Babe, I booked the room for next Thursday. Same place. Same time. Wear that black dress that drives me crazy. Thursday. Her. Late night campaign review. Attachment 6, a screenshot of Fiona's notes app. A list titled, Excuses for Liam. Traffic. Late meeting. Client call I can't leave. Stress headaches. Need time to recharge. Stop to talk with boss. Network event ran late. Left phone in car. Meeting ran long. Campaign behind schedule. 10 ready-made lies. 10. Attachment 7, a text from Cassandra. Found this in Ronan's iPad. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. You should see a lawyer. Attachment 8, a video clip. A 14-second clip. Security camera footage. Hotel hallway. Fiona and Ronan walking together. Arms around each other. Laughing. Then kissing outside a door. Then going in. Timestamp. 2 days before the barbecue. The same weekend she suggested we go hiking. To reconnect. I sat in my car, parked in the office garage, staring at the screen while my hands shook. Not with grief. Not with heartbreak. With clarity. Everything suddenly made perfect sense. The flirting. The confidence. The lie about networking. The gaslighting. The immediate defensiveness. The way she acted like I was lucky she even tolerated me. She wasn't stressed. She wasn't distant. She wasn't guilty. She was comfortable. Because she believed I was too passive to do anything about it. She believed I'd swallow whatever lie she fed me. She believed I'd accept every humiliation because I was safe. She believed I'd never walk. She believed wrong. When I finally called Cassandra back, she picked up instantly. Her voice cracked. I'm so sorry you had to see that. Thank you, I said quietly. You just helped me a lot. What are you going to do? I looked up through the windshield at nothing in particular. End it. And I meant it. That was the moment my marriage officially died. And the moment her consequences officially began. By the time I drove to the law office, the anger wasn't loud anymore. It was cold. Precise. Focused. Exactly the opposite of the broken, insecure wreck Fiona believed she'd created. I found a divorce attorney with perfect reviews, the kind who looks like he bills $300 per eyebrow raise, and booked the next available slot. He shook my hand. Name? Liam. And what brings you in today? I slid my phone across the desk. Infidelity. 3 months. Documented. He put on glasses, opened the screenshots, read in silence. Then he exhaled through his nose the way lawyers do when they see an airtight case. This, he said, tapping the screen, is a nuclear bomb. Good, I said. I want it to detonate exactly where it should. The strategy. In Arizona, like many places, infidelity won't magically give you the house and the dog. But it does influence a few things. Public leverage. Settlement pressure. Who looks insane in court? Who loses career credibility? Who blinks first? He asked how long she'd been cheating. 3 months. Minimum. He nodded. And how many late work nights did she have? More than I want to count. Perfect, he said. We file now. Serve immediately. At home? I asked. He shook his head. No. At work. Right in front of her colleagues. I didn't even try to hide my satisfaction. She flirted with him in front of me, I said. Seems fitting. Petty? He asked. Poetic, I corrected. He smiled. Money moves. Before leaving, I asked the one thing burning in my mind. Can I move money from the joint account? As long as there's documentation, he said. And you leave enough for bills. Done, I said. He didn't realize I already started 2 days ago. Timing the explosion. He pulled up a calendar. When is she with her team next? Every Thursday at 3. Standing meeting. Then she'll be served Thursday at 3:10 p.m. Can we make it 3:05? His lips twitched. Absolutely. He printed the packet. Gave me instructions. Told me exactly what would happen next. As I was leaving, he said, "Most people hesitate. You haven't. I spent years trusting her." I said, "I won't waste one more second." When I got home, Fiona was in the kitchen making spaghetti, smiling like she hadn't detonated our marriage. "Hey babe," she said, walking over to kiss me on the cheek. "You okay? You were quiet this morning." I kissed her back, held her by the waist, looked her in the eyes, and lied through my teeth. "Yeah. Work was long. I'm fine." Because the truth wasn't ready yet. Her world would collapse Thursday at 3:05 p.m. Not before. That night, she fell asleep on my chest. The same woman who told her affair partner I was. Safe. Passive. Predictable. I stared at the ceiling until 3 a.m., thinking, "You have absolutely no idea what's coming." And that was the first good feeling I'd had in months. Thursday, 2:58 p.m. I was sitting in a coffee shop 3 blocks from her office, stirring a drink I wasn't actually drinking. 3 o'clock, my phone buzzed. From process server. She's in the conference room. Approaching now. 3:04, another buzz. Standing right behind her chair. I could picture it perfectly. The weekly marketing team meeting, everyone gathered around the long table, Fiona laughing too loudly, pretending her life was perfectly under control. 3:05, a final message. Served. 2 seconds later, my phone rang. Fiona calling. I didn't answer. Her reaction, according to people who were there. By 3:15 p.m., the texts started rolling in from friends in her department. "Dude, what did you do?" She looked like someone unplugged her from reality. She ran out of the room crying. Ronan looked like he wanted to crawl through the carpet. One coworker sent. HR pulled both of them into a meeting. It's chaos. I sat back in my chair and exhaled. For the first time in weeks, the tightness in my chest loosened. The calls and texts. At 3:22 p.m., she called again. Declined. 3:24 voicemail. 3:27 voicemail. 3:31 voicemail. By the time I left the cafe, I had 19 missed calls, 47 texts, 7 voicemails. The first voicemail was angry. "Liam, what the hell is this? You served me at work? At work?" The second was shaky. "Can we please talk? This is insane. I'm blindsided. Please." The third was panicked. "I'm begging you. Please don't throw away our marriage over some mistake." Mistake. 3-month affair. Amazing how small people get when consequences arrive. When I got home, Fiona's car was already in the driveway. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and there she was, mascara streaked, shaking, eyes wild like she just survived a plane crash. She shot to her feet. "What is wrong with you? You humiliated me." I hung my keys on the hook. "You told me the door was right there," I said calmly. "So I walked through it." That's not how you handle things. You handled things by sneaking into hotels?" "I handled them legally." She froze. Because that told her exactly what she feared. I knew everything. Her gaslighting attempt number 147. She tried playing outraged. "You're divorcing me? Over what? Some misunderstanding?" I laughed. Actually laughed. "A misunderstanding? Fiona, you wrote. I've got him trained. He'll never leave. Last night was incredible. He apologized. LOL. Does that ring a bell? Her face drained to chalk white. You read those. Every word, I said. And every hotel receipt. She collapsed onto the couch like her spine disappeared. I can explain. I'm not interested. Liam, please, please. I screwed up. I know I screwed up. But serving me at work? That was cruel. You flirted with your affair partner in front of me. That was cruel. She covered her face with her hands and started sobbing. Real sobbing, loud, messy, panicked. But I didn't feel sympathy. I felt clarity. Ending the conversation. I want you out tonight, I said. Grab essentials. The rest will be on the porch Sunday. You can't kick me out. I already filed for exclusive occupancy. Locks get changed tomorrow. She looked up, eyes red. Liam, please don't do this. I'll change, I'll do anything. You already did everything, I said. That's the problem. She cried harder. And for once, I didn't care. She broke us. I was just finishing the job. By the next morning, the fallout had already reached nuclear levels. Fiona's family group chat? Melting down like a reactor. Paula, her sister, led the charge. How could you do this to her? You humiliated her at work. This is evil, Liam, I replied once. She cheated for 3 months. I have the proof. Goodbye. Then I left the chat. Blocked them all. Because nothing hits harder than facts, and denial hates facts. Her mother called next. Voicemail number 1. Fiona said you're going through a paranoid jealousy episode. Please get help. Voicemail number 2. Serving her at work? Are you sick? Voicemail number 3, quieter. Her father wants to speak to you. Right on cue, he called. I answered. Liam, he said. I need to know, did Fiona actually cheat? Yes. With Ronan? Yes. Pause. When? 4 months. I have screenshots. Another long pause. Finally he said quietly, Then I can't defend her. He sighed. You did what you had to do. He hung up. Her mother kept calling. Her father didn't call again. At Fiona's workplace. A friend in her department messaged me. They put Ronan on unpaid leave. HR is grilling Fiona. Literally everyone is talking about it. Dude, this is brutal. Apparently the meeting she was served in turned into a gossip wildfire. Someone texted me. Ronan tried to pretend he didn't know her. Fiona called him a liar. HR had to separate them. I wish I could say I felt bad. But all I felt was the first real peace I'd had in months. When she came back for her stuff. Sunday morning, her sister Paula pulled up with her in the passenger seat. I watched from the window while they loaded boxes, clothes, shoes, photos, the wedding keepsakes she always pretended meant so much. She kept glancing at the house, waiting for me to come out. I didn't. Paula finally said something that made Fiona snap. She yelled, slammed a box, and wiped her face furiously. Good. She never handled consequences well. The last thing she tried. As they finished, she walked up and knocked. I didn't answer. She tried the old key. It didn't work. I heard her whisper, You have got to be kidding me. Followed by a frustrated cry. Then, Liam? Please open the door. Nothing. Please? Silence. Car door. Engine. Gone. I opened the door after she left. One last box remained. Inside. Our wedding album. Her bouquet, dried and brittle. Every anniversary card. Her wedding dress. All the things she used to say were priceless. I dropped the entire box into the dumpster. And it felt like dropping a weight I'd been carrying for years. The career fallout. Fiona kept her job for now, but barely. Words spread that she'd had an affair, was served divorce papers at work, and HR was Reviewing professionalism. Translation. She was radioactive. No one wanted to collaborate. People avoided sitting near her. Her boss reassigned her accounts. And the cherry on top? Kiara filed for divorce from Ronan the same day. Their office drama became a cautionary tale. Fiona wasn't the rising star anymore. She was the office scandal. Me? I slept like a baby. For the first time in years. Because she had finally run out of lies, excuses, tears, and manipulation tactics. And I was done being the man she thought she could walk all over. The Monday after she gathered her things, life felt quiet. Not empty. Not sad. Just peaceful. But Fiona? She wasn't done. Not even close. The first surprise, HR calls me. Tuesday morning, I got a voicemail from an unknown office number. It was her company's HR director. Mr. Morgan, we're conducting follow-up on a situation involving 2 of our employees. We'd like to confirm a few details regarding dates and external communication. Translation. Ronan tried to downplay the affair. Fiona tried to rewrite history. HR wanted receipts. And I had all of them. I called back. Told them everything. Dates, messages, meetups, screenshots. They asked if I could forward the evidence. Oh, with pleasure. 2 hours later, my source inside the company texted. Bro. HR just called Fiona and Ronan back in. It's bad. By noon. Ronan got terminated. By 3 p.m. Fiona's on a performance review period, which means she's next. Consequences don't care about tears. The second surprise, she shows up at my gym. Wednesday evening, I walked into my gym. 5 minutes into stretching, I heard, Liam? I turned. Fiona. She looked like she hadn't slept in days, hair messy, face puffy, eyes red. What are you doing here? I asked. I just wanted to talk. No. Please. Please just give me 5 minutes. No. She stepped closer, panicking. Liam, I'm losing everything. My job, my family is furious. Ronan won't answer me, and you're acting like I don't exist. You didn't think about me existing when you cheated. She swallowed. That's not fair. I laughed. Amazing. Even now, you're allergic to accountability. She tried touching my arm. I stepped back. Her voice broke. Can't you just help me? Just listen? Just be there for me like you used to? I stared at her for a moment. Then I said the gentlest, coldest thing I've ever said. You fired the version of me who cared. She froze. And the man you replaced him with? Yeah, he doesn't work here anymore. I walked past her. She didn't follow. The third surprise, her sister tries one last time. Thursday evening. Doorbell. Paula. Arms crossed. Face angry enough to curdle milk. We need to talk, she snapped. No, we don't. You're ruining Fiona's life. She ruined her own life. She's depressed. She won't eat. She cries all day. You should at least try to. I don't owe your sister emotional support after she cheated on me for 3 months. Paula's jaw clenched. You could still fix this. Why would I fix something she lit on fire? Because you took vows. And she broke them. She didn't have a comeback for that. She stormed off muttering something about karma. Funny. I thought the karma already happened. The fourth surprise, Ronan breaks. Friday morning, I woke up to an unknown number calling. Normally I don't answer. But I did. Liam? The voice was shaky. Ronan. What do you want? I said. I need to apologize. No, you don't. I do. You don't understand. Fiona told me. I don't care what she told you. Silence. Then he said something unexpected. I lost my job. My wife left me. My kids hate me. Fiona blocked me when I told her we couldn't keep seeing each other. There it was. A cheater's shock that his affair partner didn't want him once consequences hit. He kept talking. She said you'd forgive her? That you always do? That you're soft? That you take her back once she played the victim long enough? For one moment, I felt the old anger flare. But it faded quickly. Because the truth was clear. She never knew who I really was. I wasn't soft. I was patient. And patience is dangerous when it stops. I said one thing to him before hanging up. You and Fiona deserve each other. That's why neither of you will ever have each other. Then I clicked end call. And finally, silence. Saturday came. Sunday. Monday. No calls. No texts. No knocking on my door. No messages from relatives. Just quiet. The kind of quiet you get after a storm destroys everything unstable. The kind of quiet you only earn by walking through hell and not stopping. Where I am now. I moved into a new home. Started hiking again. Started sleeping through the night. Got a dog. Got my peace back. Started talking to someone new. Healthy. No games. No lies. Someone asked me recently, do you ever miss her? I thought about it. Then I said, I miss the person I thought she was. Not the person she was. A week of silence passed. A whole week. Not a call. Not a text. Not a surprise visit. Nothing. And for the first time since the barbecue, I didn't feel like I was waiting for the next disaster. But one thing was still hanging over everything. Why did Fiona act like the affair was no big deal? Why was she so confident she could win me back? The answer came on a Wednesday morning at 9:12 a.m. The message from a stranger. I was making coffee when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. Normally I ignore unknown numbers. But this time, something told me to check. You don't know me. I'm Raven. I need to talk to you about your ex-wife. I stared at it for a second. Raven? Who the heck has a name like that? Then the second text came. I'm her therapist. That stopped me cold. We met at a coffee shop. I wasn't stupid, I suggested somewhere public. She showed up right on time. Late 40s. Professional. Calm. Not one of those overly cheery, let's unpack your trauma types. She sat, folded her hands, and said, I can't share private information. But there are things you need to know if you want closure. I nodded. She continued, I'm telling you this because Fiona gave me permission weeks ago. She assumed you two would reconcile. Not happening, but okay. Raven took a breath. She's been like this her entire life. Apparently Fiona has a pattern. She idealizes people. Then she gets bored. Then she looks for someone new to give her attention. Then she panics when consequences hit. Then she tries to fix everything through charm and manipulation. She can't handle guilt, Raven said. She rewrites reality instead. Why me? I asked. Because you were stable, she said. And she confused stability with safety from consequences. Then Raven said the part that hit me like a punch. She never thought you'd leave. Not once. In her mind, you were incapable of it. My chest tightened. Yeah. That tracked perfectly. But there's more. Raven slid a small envelope across the table. Fiona wanted me to give this to you. After you reconciled to help rebuild trust. The irony hit hard. I opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. The first line. If you're reading this, it means you forgave me. I knew you would. I almost laughed. Almost. The letter went on. She blamed stress. Blamed being unseen. At work. Blamed emotional exhaustion. Blamed her job. Blamed her parents. Blamed her childhood. Blamed everyone except herself. Near the end she wrote, You're the only man who ever truly loved me. And I know you'll always choose love over anger. I put the letter back in the envelope and slid it toward Raven. You can return that to her, I said. Raven shook her head. I won't, she said gently. You don't need it. And she doesn't need the fantasy. She took the envelope, folded it, and dropped it into her bag. The most important thing, Raven said. When the conversation wrapped up, Raven stood to leave. But before walking away, she paused and looked back. Then she said, You weren't crazy. You weren't jealous. You weren't insecure. You saw the truth before she did. Those words hit harder than anything Fiona ever said. Because I realized something. The whole time Fiona called me paranoid. I was the only sane person in the room. And just like that, the weight finally lifted. Not because she apologized. Not because she explained. Not because she wanted me back. Not because she suffered consequences. But because someone who understood her mind confirmed exactly what I always suspected. It was never about me. It was always about her. And once you understand that, you stop carrying a burden that was never yours. 3 days after meeting her therapist, I learned something I absolutely did not expect. Fiona wasn't done. She wasn't even close. Because the second she realized I wasn't calling, wasn't texting, wasn't reconsidering, she unraveled. Completely. It started with a knock at 11 p.m. I was brushing my teeth when someone started pounding on my door like the building was on fire. Not knocking. Pounding. I checked the peephole. Fiona. Hair messy. Mascara smeared. Hands shaking. She looked different. Like someone whose last lifeline just snapped. I cracked the door but kept the lock on. What? I asked. We need to talk, she said, voice shaky. No, we don't. She pressed her palms to the doorframe. Liam, please. I'm begging you. You need to leave. Then she said the words that told me exactly where her head was. You don't understand, you're all I have left. No responsibility. No accountability. Just desperation. She tried every script in the book. First the sad voice. I made a mistake. Please don't give up on me. Then the romantic angle. We can rebuild. It'll be better than before. Then the victim script. My life is falling apart. Everything's crashing down. I need you. Then the anger. You're just doing this to punish me. Then the attack. You're heartless. You're not even trying. Then the threat. You're going to end up alone. No one will ever love you like I did. I didn't respond to any of it. Just stood there watching her unravel behind a locked door. Eventually she broke. Not the performative crying she did at work. Real crying. The kind that comes from someone realizing they finally ran out of manipulation tactics. Please, she whispered. I don't know what to do. The words I finally said. I took a breath and said, Fiona, you didn't lose me because you cheated. She looked up sharply. You lost me because you expected me to stay. She froze. You treated me like a safety net. Not a husband. Not a partner. Just something to fall back on. Liam. No. Listen. You used my loyalty as an excuse to disrespect me. Tears streamed down her face. And now you're shocked I walked away. She shook her head in disbelief. I never thought you'd actually do it, she whispered. Exactly. Her last attempt. She slid down to her knees on the hallway carpet. Hands clasped. Begging. Can we at least talk tomorrow? No. Coffee? 5 minutes? No. A phone call? No. A text? No. Please, something. No. I closed the door. She didn't leave. Cried outside my door for almost half an hour. Then finally. Footsteps. Silence. Gone. The message she left behind. The next morning, a single envelope was taped to my door. No name. No greeting. Just one handwritten line on the outside. Last attempt. Inside was a longer letter. She apologized again. Begged again. Explained again. Blamed stress again. Said she'd change again. But one sentence stood out. I thought hurting you a little would keep you. Because I never believed I could lose you. That was it. That was her truth in one line. She thought I'd tolerate anything. Fiona didn't cheat because she stopped loving me. She cheated because she believed I'd love her no matter what she did. She was wrong. The closure I didn't expect. I folded the letter. Dropped it in the kitchen trash. And for the first time, I realized. I didn't want her to be punished. I didn't want revenge anymore. I didn't even want apologies. I just wanted out. And I had that. Completely. Finally. 3 weeks passed. No knocks. No calls. No letters taped to my door. Fiona vanished from my life like smoke. But life has a funny way of looping back when you least expect it. Because out of nowhere, I got a call from an unknown number. Normally I'd ignore it. But something told me to pick up. Hello? A familiar voice answered. Liam? It's Albert. Fiona's dad. His voice sounded different. Older. Tired. We need to talk, he said. I didn't owe him anything, but he wasn't Paula or Fiona's mother, so I agreed to meet him at a diner near my place. He looked like a man carrying a secret. Albert sat at a booth with a cup of coffee and a stack of papers. When I sat down, he exhaled like he'd been holding it for years. I owe you an apology, he said. You don't. I do, he insisted. I didn't know what Fiona had put you through. And once I did, I should have said more. Then he slid the stack of papers toward me. Read the top page. I flipped it over. My stomach dropped. I recognized the handwriting instantly. Fiona's. Dozens of journal entries. Some recent. Some from years ago. Albert continued. She left these behind when she moved out of our house. I wasn't going to read them, but after everything that happened, I did. He looked at me with the saddest eyes I'd ever seen on him. And you need to understand something. She didn't cheat because of you. She cheated because she breaks everyone. I froze. Albert tapped the stack of pages. I read entries going back to high school, college, her early jobs, every long-term relationship she ever had. He swallowed hard. They all ended the same way. I flipped to a random page. A journal entry dated 6 years before she met me. Why can't I stay loyal once someone loves me? I know he won't leave, so why do I keep pushing? I want to feel wanted, but the second someone loves me, I get bored. Next page. Different boyfriend. Different year. Same pattern. I always ruin things when they're good. I can't stop myself. Another page. He's a good man but too safe. I need excitement. I stopped reading. Albert nodded. She's been like this since she was a teenager. Her therapist told us, years ago that she had an unhealthy relationship with validation. That she chases attention the way other people chase comfort. He rubbed his forehead. She picks stable men because they make her feel protected. Then she sabotages it because she thinks stability means she can't lose them. Then he looked at me. You were never the problem. The hardest sentence, he said. Liam. She loved you. But she doesn't know how to love without destroying the person who gives it to her. Silence settled between us. I didn't know whether to feel relieved, or furious, or sad, or nothing at all. Why are you telling me this? I asked finally. Because she won't, he said. She'll never admit this to you. And I don't want the last chapter of your marriage to be a lie. He pushed his coffee aside and sighed. She's in a bad place. Denver didn't help. She's drinking too much. She lost another job. She won't talk to anyone. Not my responsibility. Not my burden. Not anymore. But I still asked. Is she okay? Albert hesitated. Then he said, She's alive. That's all I can tell you. Closure came in the form of honesty. We talked a bit more. I didn't ask about Fiona. I didn't ask what she said about me. I didn't ask if she regretted anything. I didn't need to. Because for the first time, someone wasn't trying to protect her ego. Or force me to empathize. Or rewrite what happened. Albert told me the truth. Plain. Clear. Undressed. And the truth was simple. Fiona wasn't the woman I married. She was the woman she'd always been. I just hadn't seen it yet. As I left the diner, Albert stood and shook my hand. "Thank you for loving her," he said quietly. "Even if she couldn't handle it." I nodded. "Take care of yourself," I said. "You too." He walked to his truck. I walked to my car. And for the first time since the downfall began, I felt completely, fully, absolutely done. Not angry. Not bitter. Not hurt. Just done. Fiona never contacted me again, and I never went looking. Albert's honesty gave me the closure she never could. She wasn't broken because of me, she was broken before me, long before, and she simply repeated the same pattern she'd repeated with every man who tried to love her. And finally understanding that freed me. I moved on with a kind of peace I didn't expect. My new place became a home. My dog turned into the best companion I didn't know I needed. Work improved. Sleep returned. Life felt light again, quiet, steady, completely mine. Sometimes people ask if I'd ever take her back. The answer is simple. You can't rebuild something that was never solid to begin with. Fiona taught me a hard truth. Love isn't enough when the other person only understands it as something to test, sabotage, and survive. So I closed that chapter for good. No anger. No revenge. Just a clean, final ending. And in that silence, I finally got myself back.